a lot of people are really scared to begin exercising again when they've been living with pain for so long.
We are neither nutritionists or medical providers. The topics discussed on this show are from our own research and experiences. Please consult your medical provider before attempting anything discussed on this show.
Welcome to another episode of
Sjogren Strong.
My name's Brian.
And this is Lupe.
And today we are really excited to have Andrea from GetAutoimmuneStrong.com. Andrea, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Brian and Lupe. I'm so excited to be here.
Andrea, I feel like I know you because you're in my living room every week.
I hear that a lot from people, actually.
I told you in the email, and I told you I hated you, and you never responded, so I hope I didn't offend you.
You're not supposed to say
didn't
that
at all. I mean, it's funny because when I first, especially with the foam rolling, when I first was developing this program, I knew that foam rolling was like the thing, and it has to be up front because it's so important that it's there. But I was like, how am I ever going to get people to come back after I basically tell them to go tear themselves apart? It's so hard. How are they ever going to want to trust me after that? So I'm really excited that people understand the concept of hurt so good and that you're willing to stay with it, even though, it can be so hard.
Yeah, no, we hike. We've done endurance cycling before, several 100-mile rides. We understand and we get it. It's just been a while since I've used and stretched those muscles.
This kicked our butts more.
Well, that's on purpose because typically what we tend to think of as exercise is cardio. And it tends to be what people love to do. And that's myself included. I was a long distance runner for a significant portion of my life. And there are amazing benefits to cardio and to hiking and biking and walking and all of those things, but they don't work any particular muscle structures in terms of strengthening. They work on endurance and blood flow. And yes, it's good for your bones and it is good for your muscles, but walking or hiking isn't going to rebalance your physical structure. And so the amount of walking or hiking that we're doing doesn't counteract what we're also doing in our modern life, like sitting at our desks, at our computers, sitting at our cars, sitting on our couches where we have loads of time where our core gets weak and our glutes get weak and all these postural muscles stop firing. And so then we get into these places where we go out hiking and we do the cardio that we love, but we have these weakened muscle structures and we can actually hurt ourselves that way. So I'm in this program, I'm challenging you to activate the deepest core muscle you've got. That's the first thing I task you with is, let's get in there, let's get deep in there and let's make that thing stronger. And it is. It's hard in the beginning because I'm asking you to do something that your body hasn't done in a really long time.
Absolutely. Why did you start Autoimmune Strong?
So I originally started Autoimmune Strong before it became an online thing. It was a program I developed solely for my own purpose. My goal was to get myself healthy and strong again because after the birth of my second son and my autoimmune conditions really flared up, I have Hashimoto's, celiac, fibromyalgia, and mixed connective tissue disorder. And it's hard to know which of the four or if all four were flaring at the same time, but whatever it was, the experience of birth and the lack of sleep and the amount of stress on the body that being a new mom is just put my body into a real state. And I was a mess. And I was too sick to go back to work after my maternity leave was over. I was really in a bad place. And so I had gone to a bunch of doctors and they all said, well, your labs are okay. There's nothing, they didn't find anything actually until 2 years later. So I was kind of in a desperate place where the doctors were like, well, you seem fine. So I started going to the the school of the internet. I Googled and was like, what do I do here if doctors can't help me? So I started looking at my nutrition, and once I got my nutrition going a little bit, I was like, there has to be an exercise component because everything in my body hurt and I was so weak and I was physically incapable of like carrying my children. And it happened to be that at the time I had a 3-year-old and a newborn, and we lived in a house where it was a duplex. And so we were on one side and it's all stairs and there's not even a bathroom on the first floor. So you had to climb the stairs to get to the bathroom. And I was a stay-at-home mom. And so I was like carrying the baby or carrying the toddler up to go to the bathroom. I mean, I couldn't do it. So, I said to my husband, I have to do something. So after a lot of fits and starts, I hired a personal trainer. I went to the gym. I tried a lot of things and nothing worked. So finally I said to him, like, I have to go back to school because if I can't fix this for myself, then I cannot be I'm not a human right now. Like I'm not a good mom and I need to figure this out. So that's what I did. I didn't go back to work. I decided to use whatever money we had left because without me working, we were financially strapped. But I said, we both agreed this was really important. So I became a nutritional therapy practitioner and a certified personal trainer. And during that time, I basically used myself as a guinea pig, because especially in personal training school, like they didn't know what to do with me. I was 32, so I was a good 12 years older than everybody else. And I was in pain. And I didn't have a ton of like athletic background. Typically personal trainers are people who are really successful in sports, right? And I was not that. So I took what they taught me and then had to figure out how to scale it way back to a thing where I could do it, where I could succeed in it. And after a lot of trial and error, things started to work for me. And eventually I realized that I had something that nobody else was talking about and that it would have been irresponsible if I hadn't shared it with the world. So that's what I'm doing now.
We thank you for sharing it. Lupe and I have been in the program for 3 weeks religiously now.
Yeah.
And
good for you.
I feel better and I'm, rolling around on the floor and, I have a shoulder injury that prevents me from doing some of the things some of the time, but
okay, I'm
giving it the college try and feel better, sleep better. Muscles aren't as sore in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
It's been awesome. And that's for me, somebody without any autoimmune issues or, massive back injuries or anything like that. But
that's so great to hear.
For me, I feel like I have more energy. I've had lower back pain for a long time, especially when I lay flat on my back. And I feel like the foam roll has really helped me. It's all the stretching,
it's
right?
Life changing, right?
Yes. Oh my goodness, I love it.
And hurting so good is an understatement. I mean, I find knots and I'm like, oh, that's weird. I've never felt a knot there before, and I'll just work it out. And
yeah,
it's been awesome. So we want to personally thank you for putting this together. And I'm so glad we found you on the internet.
Well, I'm so glad you found me on the internet too. I love being able to do this and share this kind of work. And I love the opportunity to kind of, I believe in fitness and I believe that the current model of fitness that's out there is in some ways destructive because, the idea is out there that we have to push so hard in order to be fit. And the reality is that you don't have to be in the gym for 2 hours in order to get yourself feeling better and to have more energy and to release some of that muscle tension and to gain strength. So I'm trying to offer a different kind of an exercise experience. And I'm so glad. I love that you guys are doing it together too. That's like, it's just so great because our families need to support each other in getting strong and getting healthy. And so the fact that you guys do it together is just So cool.
I went to the store and I bought 2 of everything, 2 mats, 2 rollers, 2 peanuts, everything. He's like, what's this?
Yeah, I mean, and it doesn't take a lot of equipment, and this is equipment that you're going to use forever. Now that you know how to foam roll, like I've been foam rolling now for 7 years, and I'll tell you, it does get easier for sure. Like I can roll my whole body out now in less than 5 minutes.
Wow, that's good to know.
That's coming.
We're not
as
there
long
yet.
as you're, as long as you're religious with it. And it also gets to a point where I don't have to foam roll every day anymore. I can go a day or 2 without it and still go back to it and not be such a mess. Like your body does adapt over time.
That's good to know. Getting back to Autoimmune Strong.
Yes. How
long have you been running this program for people?
Oh, it has not been long at all. Honestly, the way I started was I was a personal health coach. So I was going to people's homes and teaching them the stuff in their own homes. And my wait list was so long that I decided to throw it up online. So that happened about 1.5 years ago, and it got traction pretty quickly. So I've actually closed that personal health coaching practice, and now I'm just doing Autoimmune Strong online full time. So I guess it's about 1.5 years old.
And you get to more people that way.
That's the thing is it's crazy. There are people in Australia. There are people in Europe. There are people in Pakistan, in Sri Lanka who are doing this program. Like, it's so cool. I mean, I'm starting to get requests for translations in all these different languages.
Wow.
I never anticipated that would be a thing. I had no idea. And it's really cool because it's an online program, and I offer these small group coaching classes that happen once a quarter. So, you guys have each other for support, but not everybody has that. And so sometimes people want, more support from a community or from a personal trainer like myself to kind of keep an eye on them and make sure they're doing things right. So we have these small group coaching classes that happen once a quarter, and they're 12 weeks long. And because they're done over the internet, people from all over the globe can join. And so I'm running 3 small group classes right now, and each of those classes are international. There's someone in each class, there's people from at least 3 different countries.
That's got to make you feel good to have that kind of reach and impact on people's lives.
It's so exciting. And I think what's really cool about it too is like when you live with an autoimmune disorder, it doesn't matter which one it is. It doesn't matter if you have psoriasis or if you have Sjogren's or if you have Hashimoto's or whatever it is. The experience is so similar, but we often feel so alone in our lives. We feel like nobody understands what we're dealing with or why we're so exhausted or why we hurt, and that we have to say no to things that we don't necessarily want to say no to. And I think it's really been a lovely part of this program that there's a community where people can communicate and share their stories and know that there's someone else out there that's going through the same thing that they are, and that the struggle is real and that they're not alone in it.
Speaking to that community, you're doing a Facebook Live on occasion.
I do them every Monday.
Nice. And we haven't seen one of the Facebook Lives yet. We have not attended.
I did.
Oh.
I did. I was at work and I snuck out.
So much for doing everything together.
Sorry. Well,
it's okay. As long as one of you comes, it's great.
She snuck out of work to watch your Facebook Live.
Oh, that's so sweet. I think a lot of people do that because I do them at noon on the East Coast time. So it's tricky for the different time zones.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's always a replay. You can watch it on the replay.
I know, but there's something about watching it live and you could ask questions and yeah.
Yes. Yes.
What types of things do you cover when you're doing a Facebook Live?
So I cover a lot of everything. It's often whatever I'm thinking about of the moment. I mean, and that's kind of what Autoimmune Strong is you've got this exercise program, but then so much of it is just like whatever deep thoughts Andrea is having today is what you're going to get when you get me on social media or you get me on Facebook Live. So recent topics have been about stress and the way that stress impacts our bodies when we live with autoimmune disease, and how that then affects our ability to exercise. Another recent topic was talking about, how to work with your doctor and talk to them about exercise intolerance, and how to help them understand your body a little bit better, because I've talked a lot about how doctors don't learn about exercise really in their medical studies, and they don't learn really anything about autoimmune disease and exercise. And frankly, that's partially because there's not a ton of research out there on it. Right. The research is not super deep. There's, a study or two. What the studies show that exercise helps, but there's no real quantification about how much exercise helps, how little exercise helps, like what types of exercise help. The details aren't there, so the doctors don't know them. And so I've been trying to educate, people who are interested in the topic of autoimmune disease and exercise about how to talk to their doctors about their experiences in a way that the doctors will understand and help them create a good program that is, that's right for them. Also, that the same for personal trainers. If, at home exercise is not for everybody, some people really need to be out in the community or be, leaving their house to go do their exercise that makes them feel good. So I want, while I do want people to sign up for my program, more importantly, I want people to have the tools to be able to educate themselves and then make their own decisions about what exercise is best for their bodies and how to do it safely. So those are two topics. I don't know. And then I get inspired by emails that I get from people or comments that people write on my Facebook page. I get a lot of emails and communication from people going through this. So I'm inspired constantly to answer their questions.
Do you discuss nutrition? Do people ask you about nutrition and doing Autoimmune Strong?
Yes, I do. So I am a nutritional therapy practitioner. And in the program, I have a ebook that kind of lays out like my most basic argument for healthy nutrition. I haven't gotten very deep into nutrition yet. It is a hope and a dream of mine, but I do think that there are so many people who are doing nutrition for autoimmune disease very well on the internet already. Like, if people are interested in learning more, there's autoimmunewellness.com and the Paleo Mom. Those two groups have written a lot of stuff about the autoimmune protocol diet and different ways of managing nutrition when you have autoimmune disease. So I wanted to contribute something that nobody else was talking about, which is really the exercise piece. But I'm happy to answer. I love talking about nutrition. I'm a total nutrition geek. Gotcha. So I'm happy to talk about that. And nutrition played a huge role in my own personal healing story. I don't think that exercise is the whole answer, nor do I think nutrition is the whole answer. I think we need to have a holistic lifestyle in order to, it all needs to work together.
It's a balance, yeah.
It is a balance, yeah.
We just started a 30-day vegetarian challenge, and we've got a few of our listeners who are jumping on board as well. But we attempted it a year and a half or so ago, and day 97 is when we put fish tacos into our mouths. But
and how do you feel?
I felt really good.
I felt awesome. Something about cutting out meat, it just, with my autoimmune, with my Sjogren's, I just felt like a different person.
Wow.
So it really helped me.
And me being the one who does the majority of the food prep and cook, it's a little more labor intensive. And maybe that's just my limited card file of vegetarian recipes. I grew up in a home where my father was a butcher. So,
yeah,
it was,
it's different.
I can cook some meat, but so, there's a whole learning curve there, but we both feel better. Everything seems to work better.
Great.
But, is it, I don't know. Is it something I'll do forever? Probably not. Is it something I think the happy medium for me would be once a week, go enjoy some meat. But
yeah, my advice to you too would be that there are certain amino acids and certain fats that are best accessed through meat. They're harder to get in complete forms through a strictly vegetarian diet. I feel very passionately, though, about if you are going to eat meat, to make sure that it is organic and it's pastured and it's been properly raised. And so you're not getting just like the ton of chemicals and sludge that, factory farmed animals provide. I think there's a very wide range of what should be considered healthy meat. So, so I would encourage you when you do go back to meat, to think about it less as meat or no meat, but think about it more as, properly prepared meat versus not. But it does make sense that you're feeling good because vegetables carry so many vitamins and minerals that are really hard for us to get. Even if we take a multivitamin, we can't digest all of the vitamins and minerals in the multivitamin because you need the cofactors and the enzymes that are properly packaged in a vegetable. So we do so much better when we get our vitamins and minerals from real food. So I applaud you for making that decision. It's really, we live in kind of like an anti-vegetable society. People are, everybody is like, oh, do I have to eat broccoli?
Yes.
And, or kale I mean, even in my household where I'm very clear about the fact that vegetables are in critical importance. My 6-year-old is still like, oh, mommy, do I have to have another vegetable? So I'm excited for you guys that you are really making the most of it and eating that plant-based diet. It's really good for you.
It's been fun. I mean, and we don't have any issues with glutens, but we've reduced the amount of gluten that we're intaking and replacing them with, good legumes and grains and all of that. So it's been fun.
Good. I mean, experimenting and learning how to cook in different ways, it's all good. And I mean, at the end of the day, as long as you're listening to your body and your body is feeling good, that's what it's all about. If you're feeling good, stick with it.
Definitely. So when somebody visits, walk us through what you hope they obtain, and then once they join, what they can expect from you.
So what I would like for them to experience first and foremost is to go through the workshop. When you first get to the page, there's a big pop-up that says, join my free 5-video workshop or something like that. I forget exactly what it says, but that workshop is completely free. All you have to do is enter your email address, and then these videos pop right into your inbox. And you don't have to watch them the minute you get them. They're going to live in your inbox for as long as you don't delete the email. So you can have them for as long as you want. And they're videos that are just meant to be educational. So the first thing I explain is, why exercise is difficult for people with autoimmune disease. I explain about what exercise intolerance is. And when people start hearing me explain all this, they start going, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that my exercise is making me feel sicker rather than better. And so a light bulb goes off in their heads. And that's what I really want, is for people to start being able to connect the dots, because we think of exercise as being good for us. That's what we are told. And it is, but it's only good for us in certain doses, because when you have an autoimmune disease, your body has a certain level of stress that's higher than quote unquote normal people. Because even when we're at rest, our bodies are under a certain amount of stress or duress, right? Like even when we're asleep, our immune system is attacking what it considers to be an outside invader. And so our stress levels are just elevated. And exercise is stress on the body. That's the definition of exercise, is we put additional stress on the body in order to make change. So when you do your hiking, you're putting additional stress on your body. And if your body's level of stress is already too high, and then you go for a long hike, you're going to end up quite possibly with an exercise-induced symptom flare-up, which often is hard to distinguish from just the flu or from being tired or being hungover. It can feel like all of those things. And so a lot of people aren't even able to connect the dots because they don't know that the exercise that they're doing could even come back a couple days later and create, this stress response, which can make you feel sick. So the first and foremost, I hope people learn that and see themselves in that so that they can start making smarter choices about their exercise programs throughout their week. And I just gave you like the very short, brief overview. These videos are like 15 minutes each, so I really explain it in detail. From there, they have two choices. They can either decide they love the exercise that they're doing. They're going to take the information that I've given them and they're going to tailor their exercise accordingly. Or a lot of people feel, I have no idea what exercise I should be doing in order to help me get strong and feel better, and combat this exercise intolerance issue that I have. And so I offer an exercise program where they don't have to design their own program. There's one built and available for them. So they sign up. There's a couple different options. You can join from a monthly subscription, or you can buy a year and get entire access, or you can join the small group coaching that I was talking about before. And from there, the exercises themselves are meant to be self-paced. So in the program itself, you get two different kinds of videos. You get instructional videos, and then you have workout videos. So the idea is that I really want you to learn in the instructional videos why this exercise is important, what we're going to try and change in your body here, and then specifically how to do it. And then when you feel confident that you've gotten a handle on the instruction and you feel more confident that you're ready to kind of string a few exercises together in a row, then you can move on to the workout series. I do offer a calendar that people can follow, but I have specifically left the program sort of willy-nilly because I want people to be able to listen to their bodies and say, you know what, today I feel like I can do X, or today I want to do a workout, or today I feel tired and I only want to do abdominal bracing for 10 seconds. I want you to really be able to tune into your body and give your body what it needs. And what I've learned from working with all these hundreds and hundreds of bodies all over the globe is that what everybody needs is individual, and what your body needs is actually individual from day to day and month to month and week to week too. So ultimately you can go at your own pace. Some people can fly through the program really fast. For other people, they can take a couple of months just to get through the first 5 videos. It's completely up to you how you choose to use it. But all the videos are easily playable on your phone or on your laptop. A lot of people link them up to the TV. And so you can follow along with me in these exercise videos. And you also, as an Autoimmune Strong member, you also get access to this Facebook community that I was talking about. That's so cool. It's such a positive place. And I feel like in a lot of chronic pain communities on Facebook, there's a lot of kind of negativity, and that negativity is not on the Autoimmune Strong page. It's a very supportive, encouraging environment, which I love. Additionally, you get access to a monthly members only call where we go online via Zoom. You get to see me and see all the other members that came to this call, and we all get to have a group chat. So you can ask questions and share your story and hear other people's stories. And you get access to all the replays of those too. There's a little library of all those replays. You can watch all of them. There's a lot of content. What else? You get, the other thing that's coming, we haven't started them yet, is that I'm going to be doing some master classes that are accessible for members only. So it's sort of additional thing. People have been asking me about things like weight loss, or about things like, cardio, or things like nutrition, stuff that's not specifically a part of the Autoimmune Strong program, but that, is very important as part of that whole life thing I was talking about earlier. So as a member, you get access to all of that.
That's very cool. We're going to look forward to those.
Yeah, the first one's coming either the first or second week of March. I haven't settled on a date yet, but that one is going to be talking about weight loss and the connection of stress to weight loss. So we're going to kind of dive into that.
We encourage all our listeners to check it out because it's awesome.
Yeah, if you're listening to this podcast, then you will definitely benefit from this. And like myself, I don't have an autoimmune issue, and I'm definitely benefiting from working out alongside Lupe here. So
that's so cool. The exercises I've picked are a combination of things that I've learned through the course of, let's see, there's some powerlifting moves. Believe it or not, abdominal bracing, which is the first exercise I learned from a power lifter. So there are some yoga moves. There are some kind of functional fitness movements. I've kind of borrowed exercises from a number of different styles and types of fitness and combine them all into a program. And it does not have to be, it's not specific to autoimmune. What is specific to autoimmune is simply the pacing. But exercises themselves are good for everybody.
Does exercising help with inflammation? I just thought I would ask.
It's a great question. Yes and no is the answer. Yes, if you exercise, it does help with inflammation. But if you exercise too much and it increases your stress too high, then it can actually aggravate inflammation. Yeah. So it's this funny balance that you want to be creating where you're getting just enough that you feel awesome, but not too much where you turn the corner into feeling less awesome.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing. It's a hard balance. One of the other things that members are going to be getting in the next couple of weeks is a journal. I'm working on a journal that's going to help you track your experience with exercise so you can start understanding, okay, at this level, I feel good, but at this level, it's too much. So you can start understanding where that line is for you because it is extraordinarily individual. So it's not like I can just say, okay, today you always do this, but don't do this. Like it's just not that clear.
We actually track quite a bit, what we've been eating versus how we're feeling, how much we've prepared our body for a long hike on a weekend to how we felt after it, just so we have those notes to go back to. And it's something we learned when we were cycling. You come off of a 70-mile bike ride and your body's craving something. You're starving and your body's craving something. And say we're craving a steak. So in our minds, our body's telling us we need more protein. So we can look back at what we ate preparing for that ride and say, okay, we need to incorporate more protein into our diet so that craving is less after the ride. And that mentality has helped us with our riding and our hiking.
That's awesome. That's so smart. I think journaling is really important. It's something I do a lot in my personal life too. I'm going to send you guys the journal so you can see it once it's made. I'd love to hear your feedback on it.
Awesome.
I want to know when I want to be able to do that toe exercise.
The short foot?
No, where you're, I forget what you call it, but where your toes are bent back.
Is it like when you're sitting on your toes?
Yes.
It comes in time. I will tell you, my husband has been working on those, like, I think I call them toe sitting and foot sitting.
Yes.
He's been working on them now for almost 2 years, and when he first started, I wish I had taken pictures because he literally he couldn't. He'd look at me and be like, wait, what do you want me to do? You want me to do what? And now he can do it the same way I can do it. It's just a matter of time and not pushing too hard, but practicing over the course of the long haul because ankle flexibility and stability is so important. And often we're so locked up in our ankles that it locks up the rest of our entire leg, which then inhibits our core. So the ankles, I think, are such an essential part of having good posture. So yeah, it's hard. I won't lie. Keep practicing.
The first time we did it, I actually took pictures and I posted them on the
I
private
saw
group.
them.
That was me. And I'm like, my toes, they just don't bend that way.
No, they don't. But they are supposed to. Yeah. So over time they will. And if you keep up with the foam rolling too, that's going to help. Because I'm going to imagine that your calves are very tight.
Yeah.
And also that like the bottoms of your feet are very tight. So if you keep working on those areas, it'll come.
Yeah, I'm excited because I don't know if it's my Sjogren's or what is it, but my body is very stiff, so it's really helping me out.
Good.
I wanted to ask you about your hair, about your transformation.
You want to know why I went gray?
Yes.
I love talking about this. It was a big move for me. I've been gray since I was in high school almost. Like I had a big gray streak when I was in high school. And then as I was in college, the gray started coming and so I started dyeing my hair, I think at age 19. And in recent years, it just got to be, I don't know, well, first off, it's like really costly. I'm terrible at dyeing my own hair. I would like miss spots. And as I'm now like almost 100% gray, if you miss a spot, it looks really silly. And, as I was dyeing my hair, month after month, I kept thinking to myself, like, why am I doing this? And I started thinking about, conventional definitions of beauty. And I realized that I didn't think that applied to me and that I wanted to see what my real hair looked like. I didn't even know. So I just stopped. And I ended up bleaching my hair and becoming a blonde so that it wouldn't be such a crazy grow out process. Because anybody who is interested in doing the dye to gray process, like it is a lengthy grow out process, and you do need to be committed to it because it's not always easy and it does feel awkward at stages. Yes. But I wanted to know what my real hair looked like. And then once it started growing in, I was like, wow, it's really silver. It's pretty. And I just have decided to keep it. I love it.
And silver is in right now. Everybody's dyeing their hair silver.
People spend a lot of money to dye their hair silver. So
I stopped dyeing my hair 2 years ago. And I keep my hair short, but I love it. I get different reactions, but I'm doing me. I don't worry about other people, so.
And, I actually get very positive reactions from people who, because I'm only 40. And so, they'll look at me and they'll be like, oh my God, you've got a full head of gray hair, and so I hope to think that I'm like inspiring people to love who they are and not feel like they have to cover up or be something that they're not. Because I think the gray hair is beautiful.
I do too. And it looks sexy and beautiful and I love it.
Yeah, me too. I think it's important for all of us. Yeah. So I'm excited that you're doing it too.
Yay. Now I just have to grow it out because it's really short, but
it takes time.
Yeah.
All the color is gone though.
Are you experiencing yellowing?
Yes.
That's the only part that's really frustrating is I haven't figured out how to make the yellow go away.
Somebody told me about using a purple shampoo.
Oh yeah, I do all that.
Yeah. Does it help?
It does help. My issue is that I live in Massachusetts where it's really cold in the winter and I have to blow dry my hair. And I think the heat treatment is not, makes the yellow come out more. So I have to figure out the answer to that because I really like my natural, like shiny gray. But yeah, I mean, it's a work in progress, but I still like it better than having to color it.
So if any of our listeners want to get a hold of you, what is your preferred method of communication?
There are lots of different ways you can reach me. First, you can go to my website, which is www.GetAutoimmuneStrong.com. You can find me on social, on Facebook. I'm just Autoimmune Strong. And I do Facebook Lives every Monday at noon Eastern. And there's always the replay. So there's lots of free information right there. You can find me on Instagram. I'm GetAutoimmuneStrong on Instagram. And you can email me if you have any questions. I'm Andrea at GetAutoimmuneStrong.com.
Excellent. And those links will be in the show notes below. So if you aren't able to write them down at the time you're listening to this, they'll be there for you and waiting.
Perfect.
Is there anything else you'd like to leave with the listeners before we part ways?
I think we've covered so many good things. I think, the bottom line is a lot of people are really scared to begin exercising again when they've been living with pain for so long. And I just want to encourage people not to be scared, that exercise is something that you can do and that there's a whole community here to support you when you're ready.
That's great advice, and we will second that motion.
Absolutely, yes.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, we really want to thank you for your time today, Andrea. We look forward to seeing you on the TV screen in the living room, and expect another email or two of me cussing you. That's just how I am. Sounds great. Thank you so much for inviting me to do this, and thank you for accommodating my crazy schedule.
Thank you. Now I have to rush back to work. Alrighty. Thank you. Andrea said it best. A lot of people are really scared to begin exercising again when they have been living with pain for so long. Not exercising is only going to hurt you in the long run. Take small steps every day and move your body. It will help. It will help you feel better, sleep better, and hey, summer is coming. We really hope you will click the link below and sign up for Get Autoimmune Strong. Start by learning the moves at your own pace and join us, Sjogren Strong, in the Get Autoimmune Strong community. Let's do it together. Until next time, sip constantly and stay hydrated.